Hi everyone, it's Richard at Altfins. In this video I want to discuss the possibility of a Santa rally or year-end rally in cryptocurrencies. And we see several pieces of evidence indicating that the recent correction that we've seen has come to at least a near-term end, and that we could see an upswing in the tune of 20 to 30% in the next couple of weeks. That's not to say that the overall downtrend or correction has bottomed out. That will have to be seen if we make some higher highs and higher lows in the next coming couple of months. But in the near term, I do think that we have overcorrected, and we could see a relief rally. So it's a bit of a swing trade, and an opportunistic sort of tactical trade opportunity. And I'll review some specific trade setups as well. But as I mentioned, the market has corrected in some cases 20-30%. We can see that on the performance tab here of some of the coins. Bitcoin is down 20% or so. Ethereum has relatively outperformed, only 10% down in the last month, but some of the others like Solana 20%, Cardano 35%, and so on. Now there are some coins that have bucked the trend, and we can see them here. Luna Terra obviously is hitting new all-time highs. Polygon has done well, and actually we've seen some of these. This is the first piece of evidence that the market is maybe reaching an upswing point, is that we see some of the stronger outperformers once again bouncing up strongly, in some cases making new all-time highs, like I said, Terra Luna. And that could be an indication of that could precede a broader market rally. The second piece of evidence is that we've seen a lot of the coins actually dip to their December 4th flash crash. If you remember, the market really took a deep dive, a quick dive on December 4th. And if we look at Solana, that was sort of the low point for a lot of the names here. In the case of Solana, the price has actually dipped even below that, but a lot of the other coins have dipped to about the December 4th lows and have bounced up. So the support that held up on December 4th appears to be holding up now, a couple of weeks later. The third piece of evidence that we're seeing is a bullish swing in momentum, and by that I mean MACD bullish crossover. The way we can check on that is we go to the oscillator tab here, look for MACD and say, okay, show us all the situations where MACD has crossed over the MACD signal line, which is a bullish MACD crossover in the last 5 periods. And then let's also give it a market cap minimum here of about 5 million. Okay, so we've got a lot of names that have actually recently, just in the last 5 days, because I defined the filter as bullish MACD crossover in the last 5 intervals. In this case, we were on a daily time interval, so in the last 5 intervals means last 5 days. So we've seen a bullish crossover in Bitcoin, Solana, Terra Luna, obviously, Avalanche, Litecoin, Uniswap, right? We can see that in the charts as well. Okay, if we scroll down here, you see these buy flags here in recent crossovers, right? So the momentum is clearly swinging up. Another way to find this momentum upswing even before the crossover happens, actually, and this is a useful tip for you, is to use not MACD, but the MACD histogram as your indicator. So in many cases, let's just say MACD is still a sell, but the histogram is already inflecting. And so I'll select MACD histogram H2. So that means the last 2 intervals, the last 2 days are seeing an improvement in the momentum. So when I create this filter here, I'll see all those names that still have a bearish MACD signal, a sell flag, but an improvement in the histogram that indicates that the worst is over. So let's look at this list. You know, it includes Ethereum. Again, let's look at the candlesticks charts. So in this case, we're looking at names that still have a sell flag, but the histogram, as you can see, is improving. In fact, in many cases, it's just about to break above the signal line, which would result in the buy flag. So this is an early indication that the momentum is inflecting bullish even before it actually turns completely bullish and makes the crossover. So we're seeing a lot of these situations. So that's another piece of evidence that we might be close to a substantial upswing. And then the last piece is that we're seeing sort of the consolidation or correction happen in a specific pattern, and that's, if I go to curated charts actually, and that's the channel down pattern. And so now in the curated charts, these are charts that are prepared by our own internal analyst team of technical analysts, and here, as you can see, we've updated a lot of the charts already today, and we're seeing, in fact, a lot of channel down patterns, and in some cases are already breaking out. In some cases are right at the verge of breaking out. So let's filter just the channel down patterns here from this list. Okay, so there's a lot of them here. You know, it's a sort of a recurring pattern that's emerging, and in some cases it's still emerging. It hasn't broken out, but it's very close to breaking out. Pancake is one that has broken out actually bullishly. So if you look at the chart pattern here, it's we had a channel down. It's broken above it or out of it, and in fact above a resistance level of about $12. So that's a bullish breakout and could lead to an upswing to about $15. And also notice that in this case, if I come back to that chart, we had a recent buy, a MACD crossover as well, right? So that was another sort of a clue. If we look at the perpetual, is another breakout from channel down pattern, and that just happened, in fact, yesterday and today. Again, a situation where the MACD crossover had just happened, took place a couple of days ago. The OBV indicator is rising. OBV, or on balance volume, measures the volume on up days versus the volume on down days. And so when we see it rising, that means that the buyers are stepping up, they're getting more aggressive, and then that the demand overall exceeds supply from the sellers. So the OBV is rising, the MACD indicator has crossed over bullishly, and we've broken out of that channel down pattern. So this looks also like a decent setup for a swing trade up to the next resistance level of about $13.50. Now overall, this is still a downtrend. So again, this is a swing trend trade, not necessarily a good trend trade, but you know, I think for those who would like to do some swing trades, this is a decent setup. Some of the others, here's another breakout from the channel down pattern. That's Ripple. As you can see, we were trading correcting in the channel down pattern, and it's broken out in the last 3 days out of it, and could revisit about $1 or so, in my humble opinion. Also had a recent MACD crossover and OBV rising. Let's see, and then some that are maybe nearing a breakout. If I remember correctly, Cosmos was one that was right at the verge of breaking out right there. As you can see, the price is right at the trend line, the resistance trend line of the channel down pattern. So keep an eye on it. keep coming back to these curated charts that we update, especially when the situations change. We update these graphs to alert you of the opportunities as well. The other interesting situations with Binance coin, it's actually consolidated in a slightly different pattern. It's a descending triangle pattern. So you can see the resistance trend line is downward sloping while the support trend line is horizontal at around the $500 support level. Let's see which way this pattern resolves. The $500 looks like a very robust support zone. It's also a level where the price dipped to on December 4th when the flash crash happened, and that level held then, and my bet is that it will hold here as well. And as you can see, the MACD histogram has inflected already bullish, although we haven't had a quite full-fledged crossover as well. So this could be, up on the bullish breakout, we could see this price revisit $600 or higher. And then lastly, Luna has been obviously a huge gainer. A lot of demand for this coin. Has to do with sort of rising total value locked on the protocol, among other things perhaps. But in any case, that one had pulled back and bounced off of the support zone of $55 and is making new highs, and so that's very bullish. We think that this price could continue to head higher from these levels. Okay, guys, a reminder that this is just my opinion. This is not financial advice, and also do take care of your risks. We teach that in our education webinar as well. That means use your stop losses, use the risk reward ratio of 1 to 2 at a minimum, and lastly, don't bet the farm on any given trade, and keep the trades small, a maximum of 2% of your equity of your portfolio. Again, if you're not familiar with these terms, you should take a look at our education webinars, which is, I think, a great bundle for beginners. Good luck trading, everyone.